I still remember everything about that day, the celebration, Kara jumping on top of the scores table with the ball, the confetti coming out. It was amazing.
And the 2005 WNBA champions are your Sacramento Monarchs. Rejoice, Capital City, rejoice!
2005 was probably like one of the best years of my life.
It's etched into my mind, the entire season. I don't think I'll ever forget 1 year of being on the Monarchs. That's the type of memories we created.
We're number one, world champs, baby. Go Monarchs.
It's just surreal. It's hard to explain. It just didn't feel real at the time, you know? It took a couple of days to like sink in that we were like world champions. Like we were the best women's basketball team in the world. We were the underdogs. I mean, nobody picked us to win the championship with some of the teams we were going against. Just a lot of things came together. And again, that's on the floor, everyone was bought into what we were trying to accomplish. Off the floor, everybody supported one another. So we really had, you know, both sides of the coin going on, and that's when the magic really happened.
We had great chemistry on and off the floor. We were a team that is like a bunch of sisters, you know. Sometimes we argue with each other, but, you know, it was always for a good reason. We had that type of chemistry, and nobody took anything personal. At the end of the day, we just wanted to win.
I don't think we truly believe, like, we created chants. Like, we will remember the Titans during warm-ups, like, we are the Monarchs. Like, it was just a buzz, like, we're gonna do it. Like, we know that we can.
A little bit of like anxiety too, you know, because like, okay, we're finally here, and we starting on the road, and we won game one. In game two, I remember like, it was yesterday. We could have won game two. We should have won game two. But I knew going home, especially playing in front of our fans, and they came through for us in the finals. We had sellout crowds. It was just like a little bit of nerve-wracking because, you know, every possession is so important. I know it's cliche, you know, take it one possession at a time, but it's the truth. You know, when you're playing an amazing team and you're playing for the big championship, you really have to take care of the ball, and you really have to make every second count.
Regardless of what other people believed, where they picked us in the rankings and all that stuff, we just knew we could do it. We just believed in ourselves. We just had all the right pieces in place, but we had that belief and confidence, and that came from Yolanda. I mean, that's, you know, I fed off of her energy and her edge as well, you know, and her competitive spirit as well as Tisha's. And when it finally happened, it was like, oh my God, you know, it's like, it's done. It's like, it's here, you know. Seeing the confetti come down, seeing the joy on my teammates' faces, that's what really did it for me.
And we are the champions, and we wanted to have it for our fans. Like, Sacramento Monarchs fans were like no other fans anywhere. I mean, that arena, that buzz, when you heard your name, I loved being a starter. Being a starter and hearing your name in that arena was like, whoa. We wanted to win in Sacramento. Like, that was gonna be the party of a lifetime.
Like, everything in line, from the owners to the NBA side, the NBA family, you know, to the city, and the fans were just the noise. I can, like, you're taking me back there, and now I'm thinking about what it felt like to hear the crowd who was just all in, and the rally, you know, at the state capitol on the steps. And man, I'm overwhelmed. I wish I had better words to express the gratitude that I have to have just been a part of the experience. To bring the championship, I think first one to Sacramento.
We had those kind of fans that you could really trust to bring you up when you were down and keep you up when you were up. They were not fair weather fans. They were the fans like, oh, well, if we bad together. You just loved playing in Sacramento. Everywhere we went, we felt special. We felt like, you know, we were something more than, and it speaks to the Sacramento community.
I'm still heartbroken. The way that we folded and the way that things kind of ended abruptly. Nobody knew that we played our last game at the time at Arco Arena. We all thought that we were going to be back for 2010 season, and then we got the news in November of 2009 that the team was going to fold and everybody would have to find a new home. And obviously, it was unexpected, and we were kind of blindsided. But my first thought were, what about these fans? You know, we didn't have a chance to say goodbye. We don't know if they're going to bring another team here. So I don't think it's a strong word. I was devastated for them, for us, but for them as well.
That's probably one of my saddest basketball memories, is knowing that it wasn't going to work out and that we had to all move on and go our separate directions. But again, speaking to what was so special about Sacramento is that we really were a family.
I never played here in Sacramento for the Monarchs, but we played against them. They were in our conference, and they had a massive fan base here in Sacramento, and that's basically how Sacramento, sports fans are. There was the Monarchs and there was the Kings, and at the time those were, year-round. They could support a local team and enjoy really high-level basketball. And so when the Maloofs disbanded the team right after winning a WNBA title, it was shocking, and I think shocked a lot of fans around here.
Yeah, because it's such a great area. Like, it's so women's basketball friendly that it truly is very sad that we don't have a team there. But I'm hoping, history repeats itself. So I'm really hoping that at some point, a team comes back, because that community supports women's basketball. Ultimately, I think that representation is everything. There's so many good high school basketball players in California, particularly in Northern California, that have to look around for somebody to look up to. They have to look at the Northern California colleges and hope that there's a basketball player there that they can look up to. But to see somebody who's genuinely made it to the peak that they're striving for, and to only see that on television because it's not readily accessible to you, that's just hard.
Women's basketball is growing, and it's you see little girls in high school now, they're working out and they're getting trainers and they start lifting and they're having shooting coaches because their goal is to play, their dream is to play in the WNBA. And it's great that now with technology we have League Pass and we have access to watch the games, all the games live. But it's nothing like being in an arena, being able to watch those players play, maybe talk to them, getting their autograph. I think is a different experience. And if you don't have that, maybe you feel like your dream is not achievable because you don't really live it like you should.
I think it's still a huge hope for fans locally to have the WNBA return here. Obviously, this environment with everything going on is a little bit different, and it's difficult to kind of start out on that venture. But in terms of the Bay Area, they have obviously a huge population of sports fans, and it would be amazing. There's been a couple times where it's been talked about. I think eventually it will happen, and I think Bay Area fans would really appreciate it.
It's got to be the right people who obviously have the means and the community support and understand those bigger things, pulling the city involved and the county involved and all those logistical things, with just a passion for the game. So it's going to take somebody with that combination to lead the charge with a group of investors, obviously, to bring something like that together and just leadership. And someone who really wants to see that happen. I think we have great leadership on the WNBA side of things as well. So, partnering with the league to bring something back that's going to work and be feasible for the league, it's definitely doable. It's just going to take the right combination of people.
Girls and women, as do boys, we all need role models, right? And so I think having a pro team here in the Bay Area would be just outstanding for young girls and for young boys. Even when I'm working with kids, a lot of the parents will say, we're glad to see a strong female role model for our son and for our daughter.
I feel bad that girls all over the country in random areas don't have teams that they literally can just link to, because that's what makes it special. There's something about having a role model that does what you want to do. You know how they say, learn from someone who did it.
But what the WNBA means and pro women's sports means to equaling the playing field and culturally, changing the view of women. It is so powerful and impacting young people where everyone's the same, right? Everyone's equal. That really struck me. And again, that's why I'm so proud to have gotten to do something I love as an athlete, but be a part of something even bigger than basketball. I'm really upbeat and positive about the future of our sport. At the same time, yes, we've got to get a team back in the Bay or in Northern California. They love basketball there. I'm really hopeful the right time someone will step in to lead that and bring a team back to Northern California.